Winters have finally arrived and it's the perfect weather if you love long-lasting, potent, bold and warm fragrances. The perfumes on this list are not just powerful and beast mode, these are also going to be really affordable. So you are going to smell expensive and luxurious without burning a hole in your wallet. But before we start this list of unique and incredible fragrances, please make sure to hit that like button if you want more content like this. And if you are watching my video for the first time, do consider subscribing to the channel as well. So let's find your next signature winter fragrance. Starting off the list with 10th Cologne, this is Mahad Al Dhahab from Arabiat Prestige. The bottle is kind of similar to Marwa, just that the colorway is different. It is in a satin gold finish. And if you love fruity, powdery kind of vanilla fragrances, then you are absolutely going to love this one. It opens up with fruitiness with very light citruses, with touch of spices added onto it and lot of powdery vanilla. It does become slightly musky at the final phase of its life, but for the most part you are going to get that sweet powdery vanilla, which is almost a dry and dusty undertone. This perfume is well blended, feels very high quality, refined and very smooth. Now all the fragrances on this list are going to last for the full day on clothes, and I am talking about winter season specifically. The only reason I am keeping this fragrance at the 10th place, it is a very soft projection. So if you are someone who likes long lasting fragrances but want your perfume to be on the milder side, then this one is a very good pick. But let's move on to the 9th fragrance of this list, because this one is really special. The Paris Corner Rifaqat is actually a very good value for money perfume. Most of the times you can find this perfume for under 1500 rupees, and at that price it's really a steal. By the way, the last fragrance was perfectly unisex and so is this one. But unlike the Mahad Al Dhahab, this one is strongly spicy. Lots of vanilla, a little bit of smokiness, almost like a suede leather like finish. And these characteristics makes this fragrance a little bit more challenging, mature and polarizing as well. But the perfume from Arabiat Prestige was a lot more mass appealing in nature and more pleasing in the air. But this one has a lot of raw performance. It is going to stay on clothes for days in the winter season, and the projection is also good for the first couple of hours. I would recommend this perfume to people who like spicy leather and vanilla fragrance, and anybody who likes to smell rich, unique and beautiful at the same time. 3 to 4 sprays on clothes should be more than good enough. Now to the 8th fragrance of this list, and it's a new release from the very popular Middle Eastern house Latafa. It is the Masrabia, and it is quite an underrated fragrance as well. If this particular perfume would have launched under the Khamra lineup, then it would have been much more popular than what it is right now. For me, this fragrance would have been the real Khamra Dukhan. It has that sticky sweetness, but with a fruity apple, but not quite fresh in nature, almost like an apple jam. Now throw in some tobacco and some smoky elements, and this one becomes a lot more interesting. Now you can find the full review of this fragrance I had done earlier, and I will make sure to put it on the top I button, but I had tested it when it was quite warm. But right now when the weather is on the cooler side, this perfume projects heavily and stays on the clothes for at least 10 hours. I would recommend this perfume to anybody who liked the Khamra but found out to be cloyingly sweet. This perfume tames down the sweetness and brings all the mature elements to the smell. The smell of the Masrabia tends to lean towards the masculine side because the spices and the tobacco accord are a lot more prominent in this one. Less sweetness also means more versatility, and this perfume is no different. This one is a lot more versatile than the regular Khamra. Now let's move on to something very different fragrance. It is the Merj from Ahmad Al Maghribi, a perfectly unisex fragrance that does oud in a mass appealing way, because this perfume has a soft oud in here. I would say the smell is more dominated by the amber accord with little bit of floral elements and touch of spices and a sweet honey smell. The smell is very refined, smooth, and nothing smells like which will come and hit your face. By the way, there are a lot of winter gems from Ahmad Al Maghribi, and I could have added several of them. And if you are looking for something affordable, do try the Black Fume. Or even better, check out my top Ahmad Al Maghribi fragrances video. Coming back to Merj, it is going to be a very complex fragrance. This is not going to be linear, so don't judge this perfume with just the opening. And performance wise, it has improved a lot from my initial video, so expect an easy 10 hours of longevity from this one also. The bottle design is also pretty unique. Now let's move on to the 6th fragrance of this list. I have decided to present you 2 options for the 6th spot, and both of the fragrances are honey, tobacco and lavender combination, yet they are very different from each other. The first one is a new release from the house of Nusuk. It is the Attic. Once again, I have done a full review and I will post it on the top I button, and if you like smell of certain tobacco honey fragrances, then you are absolutely going to love it. By the way, can somebody write in the comment section which fragrances these are all similar to? Now returning to Nusuk Attic, you are going to get a lot of sweetness from tonka beans, but before that the spicy cinnamon is very prominent. But once it settles down, the spicy cinnamon is still present, but the tobacco becomes more prominent, and you will also get whiffs of aromatic lavender. I just wish that the cinnamon would have been toned down and the lavender slightly amped up. However, I am not going into details of the smell in this video, but focusing on to the performance, I have nothing to complain about. And smell wise too, it is way better than the Paris Corner Vou Elegante. And to the second sixth fragrance I was talking about, it is the Armaf's Lionheart Man. This is a perfume that I absolutely love in the winter season. A fantastic date night and clubbing fragrance, especially in the cool weather. It has a light mint fresh opening, but it quickly moves on to tobacco, some syrupy vanilla with lots of lavender to give it that aromatic edge. I get about good 8 hours of performance from this fragrance, but if you want even more, check out the Rasasi Havas Elixir, which is sweeter and comes with even better performance. But if you want less sweet fragrance, little less lavender, slightly spicy and mature version of this fragrance, check out the Afnan 9pm Elixir. Moving on to the fifth fragrance of this list, it's a pretty unique smell to be honest. This is not a cologne that everyone will love, but it will make sure that you will smell unique in the crowd. The smell is very metallic, mineralic in nature, which might sound strange, but as I said, it is going to smell very different. And to balance out that metallic smell, there is also a bit of saffron and a light hint of sweetness along with a musky dry down. With this perfume, I am getting a little bit of leathery aspect, and that is the reason I am putting this in the winter season fragrance. The longevity I am getting currently is around 8 to 9 hours on clothes, but it is definitely on the softer side of the projection. If you are bored with regular fragrances and want something different, more adventurous, then give this fragrance a try. Now let's move on to something safe, popular and mass appealing, and it's a no surprise that it is the Latafa Khamra Kahwa. If you are into fragrances or have some sort of perfume collection, then chances are very high that you would have come across this fragrance as well. That is that seductive alluring cardamom along with coffee and of course with lot of sweetness. If you are a fan of gourmand fragrances with very good performance, then this one is a no-brainer. In my personal opinion, this is the best Khamra Latafa has released till now. It comes with a gorgeous bottle design, beautiful presentation, and of course with fantastic performance. And if you are looking for casual fragrance or a date fragrance or even a perfume for holidays, I would highly recommend you to try out this fragrance. And of course, don't forget to check the full review. Now, as we are moving on to the top 3 fragrances of this list, you can rank them interchangeably. On the third rank, I am putting the Bentley for Men Intense. It is also one of the strongest fragrances in my collection, and I had even featured this fragrance in the top 10 longest lasting fragrance, irrespective of weather conditions. It literally lasts for days if not weeks on the apparel. In terms of smell, it's boozy, it's spicy with just enough hint of sweetness to keep you interested. And it also has that luxurious leather facet which is not animalic in nature but feels more like interior of luxurious cars. Granted, it's old at this point of time, but for me it is still going strong. Even in 2025, I won't hesitate to recommend this fragrance, which I might be a bit biased as this is one of my favorite scents ever. Moving on to the second fragrance which I have literally included many times in my videos. It is the Bin Sek from Ahmad Al Maghribi. Now this is an oud fragrance where you will get that pungent barnyardish oud which might even come across as acidic to some people, but it is combined well with the sugary elements, touch of floral elements along with saffron, making it smell like a niche fragrance. The oud has a tendency to smell great in the air, and this one is no different either. If you are rocking this fragrance in a party, you are going to get a ton of compliments, but I would not categorize this as an everyday fragrance. In my humble opinion, it should be reserved for special occasions. Moving on to the final fragrance of this list, it is the Latafa Teriac Intense. Now it lies in the same space as that of Kilian's Angel Share, but it has some spicy and fruity differences. The plum liquor and the saffron give it that distinct advantage, which is otherwise a very popular sweet boozy fragrance. Now it will definitely remind you of a bit of apple pie smell, but trust me, it is much more than that. In terms of performance, it was just stellar from day one, and even today as I am wearing this fragrance, it is very strong. Now these were my top beast mode affordable picks for the winter season, and you are going to smell like $1,000,000 with these perfumes. So which next fragrance are you looking forward to try, or which one are you going to add to the collection? Drop your comment down below. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for great fragrance finds every week. And if you have any feedback for this or any of my previous videos, feel free to comment down below. And don't forget, smelling good doesn't have to be expensive. So that's it for today's video, and I will meet you all in an exciting new video next week. Till then, stay safe and as always, stay honest.